Hey everyone, here we are again with another video for LLM Framework with UiPath Studio, powered by a Python API backend using Langchain Framework. In the initial release, I've included a couple of activities revolving around LLM chain so that you can feed your own data sources, whether it's PDF, CSV, Word documents, YouTube video. So these are the initial sets of activity, and the concept behind it is what we call context injection or retrieval augmented generation, where you have your knowledge sources, as I mentioned, coming from different types of document or video transcripts, and then it will be converted into embeddings, usually pushed into vector store, which is Pinecone in this case. And based on the specific question or instruction that you provide to the activity, it will query that particular database of sources that you have and fetch the most similar chunk to your question and inject into the prompt that will eventually be pushed or fed into the large language model, so it can provide a much more contextual response. So the sets of activities included on the initial release are ingest knowledge source, converse with context, and fetch knowledge source. Now, the newest component that I've added in the toolset or custom activity is what I call research with agent, which is an LLM agent that has access to search and web scraping tools. And by just providing an objective or research query, it will help you autonomously perform web search, web scraping, and consolidate all of the gathered information in a comprehensive research output. So an LLM agent is a type of a predefined LLM chain where you give the agent a specific sets of tools, in this case a search function and a web scraping function, so that it can be able to leverage those depending on a specific task that you have provided it. So let's see what this activity can do by providing you an example through this LLM Framework Template. And as you can see, we have the new activity here, LLM agent, and this is already incorporated in the reusable workflows right here, depending on the parameters that you provide in the LLM framework. So be sure to watch the full guide that I did in the past on how you can leverage this LLM framework template for your conversational and transactional use cases, whether it's summarization, unstructured document extraction, and all other use cases that needs to leverage interaction with large language models in a contextual manner. So let's interact with the research with agent activity using chat mode by running this sample implementation right here. And of course, make sure the Python backend API is running and you have the latest you should have the latest image and running in your Docker container. So there's a bit of a revamp in the sample implementation for chat mode in the latest version of the LLM framework template. So it still has the previous chat with your own data sources, where you can select these different sources and specify the sources in order to be ingested in a vector source, and then you can chat with its contents. Now you have the option to do a research agent. Let's see, and there's a default text here which you can change based on your research objective or query. Let's say, for example, you have an upcoming presentation for LinkedIn. What is this company and what are some RPA use cases relevant to them? So you can just hit enter, and then it will do the searching. It will do the link searching for links that's relevant to your goals, and then for each of those links, it will scrape in real time and gather all those information. And once it determines that it's has sufficient amount of information to provide you an output, then it will return the output for you. So now it was able to provide the research output. So instead of you manually going in, Googling about the company, or researching about RPA use cases, it does all those things for you and put it in a professional manner as a research output based on the instructions that you provided. So LinkedIn is in the media industry, and these are the things. It also provides a source where it fetches this information, and these are the RPA use cases related to media industry, lead nurturing, bid adjustment, competitor monitoring. These are the use cases that you can use for your presentation. So how does this work? Right. So let's see what happened under the hood. Let's look at the what the API did. So when I invoked the query and it went to the research with agent activity. So this is the prompt that was provided for the LLM agent, right? This is the main prompt, right? But the prompt itself would not be able to achieve this particular task without the tools that I provided it in the API, right? So using this prompt as well, along with the tools that I provided. So I provided it with a search tool, right? So first it invoked a search tool, searching for LinkedIn company profile, and these are the search output along with the links, right? And since I mentioned LLM agent are a pretty type of LLM chain, whatever output from the search, including the links, will be fed into another function, which is scrape website. And since the search tool has been able to provide the links for relevant website, the scrape website is able to access those links, scrape the website, keeping in mind this particular objective, which also comes from the particular query that you provided, or research objective. So it does that in iteration, right? So depending on the number of websites that it was able to search, it will gather the most relevant information from those websites, do the search iteratively on the specific topics that's included in your objective. In this case, it again invokes search with RPA use cases, and generates another set of links, and then scrapes those the most relevant website with the objective in mind, and then does that iteratively until it reaches or it gathers a sufficient amount of information for your query. So that's at a high level how it works. Now let's see another one by looking at the code container. Let's run it directly from the Python terminal, from the VS Code terminal, and see what's happening as it runs. So let's run this. Got debugging. So this is the meat of the code behind the agent, which is a wrapper of Langchain around OpenAI agents. So I'm using an OpenAI functions agent, and I provided the tools, which consist of the search tool and then the scrape website tool. How the agent determines if what tool to use at any given point in time is depending on the objective. I have provided a description on when to use this tool. So this scrape website tool is useful when you need to get data from a website or URL, while the search tool is useful for when you need to answer questions about the objectives or current events or data. So this is all in natural language, and that's where large language models thrive, and they automatically, that's how it autonomously determines what tools to use and iteratively perform a specific um, task in order to achieve a specific objective. So let's run another query or objective. So let's say I'm writing an article about UiPath integration services. What are the main topics I can cover specifically around generative AI connectors? For each topic, provide 2 to 3 or 1 to 2 paragraph long scripts, something like that. So let's see. So I provided my objective, and given the prompt template that I have, this is what the agent will use in order to iterate, do search, do web scraping, and then gather all the information that it needs to answer that research objective. First, it performs search. These are the results, and then it scrapes this particular website, AI offerings of UiPath. It gathered the most relevant docs. It uses retrieval augmented generation, similar to what the other activities use, Pinecone vector store. And then again, it scrapes another website. This one, it's able to get this one. And now it's finished. This is the output from the research. Based on research, here are some main topics you can cover about UiPath integration services, specifically generative AI connectors, expanded offerings, blah blah blah, and it also outputs the particular source. Awesome. Another common scenario where this could be useful is around use cases involving due diligence use cases or know your customer for certain companies like banking and finance industries. And just recently, I had this, I received this particular email where saying that there's a package that's waiting for me to pay for a specific fee before I can receive. And during that time, I am expecting a package, but this particular sender is quite a sketchy one, and it seems to be a legit company, Aramex and motoralmore.com. So instead of me searching for these companies myself and looking into the forums, so I use this research with agent activity, and I just say like I received an email from, let's say, Noret at motoralmore.com with the sender name my Aramex, saying my parcel could not be delivered because of customs duties. I need to pay. I don't have any idea about this parcel. What is this company? Is this fishing camp? Let's see what it outputs. And there you go. It says Motoralmore CIA is a company based in Ecuador, primarily with a motorcycle. This validates that this is a legit company. doesn't seem to have, but it says doesn't seem to have connection with parcel delivery of custom duties. Sender Amaris does suggest connection with Aramex, a prominent business company. For taking an action, should verify email contact Aramex directly. So most likely this is a phishing scam. So there you go. So I can't wait to hear from you on what types of use cases you can build around this new capability for this LLM framework template. See you again.